MAT1995. Here to continue a news bulletin. I'm going to start reading fanfiction. Due to my sore throat, I can't do it normally. So I'm going to use auto voice so it can help me out. I do hope you enjoy the first ever Transformers fanfics on my YouTube channel. Section contact. I will not read those. I will leave a link in the description below so you guys can read it. I do hope you enjoy it, and I give full credit to its original creator, Princess Sora 273. Now let us begin on a Transformers fanfiction. Camilla Fred is a typical Transformers fangirl. She loves almost everything regarding the famous robots in disguise, but she loves their video games most of all. On the first day of summer vacation, her parents have to work, so she has the house all to herself. She decides to have a little Transformers game-a-thon, only right before she starts to play, there's a power failure and her gaming system goes haywire, zapping the girl right into the virtual world of the war between the Autobots and Decepticons. You think she would know what to do considering she's played it so many times, right? Well, not exactly. Introductions. Beep 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 beep. I groaned with grobbiness as I smacked the pillow on my head, trying to block the sound of my parents' alarm clock. My own alarm went off half an hour ago and I slept through that. My parents' alarm is so loud you could hear it from all the way down in the basement. It's that loud. I finally couldn't take it anymore. I chucked the pillow off my head, kicked the covers off me, and jogged over into my parents' room. I found the alarm clock on the end table beneath the flat-screen TV, turning the switch and shutting it off. There. I moaned, marching back in my room and plopping down back on my bed. But not 5 seconds later, another alarm went off. Oh, come on. I yelled, sitting up in my bed as I raised my hands in the air. I looked over at the doorway of my room to see my dad, playing the alarm on his phone. Rise and shine, sleeping beauty. He smirked. Oh, Dad, what gives? I whined, wiping my eyes. It's the first day of summer vacation, remember? You told me to wake you up early today before I head off to work. My dad explained. I gasped, springing off of my bed as I ran to the window and pulled open the curtains, taking a look outside as I opened my window. Birds were chirping, the sun was shining, and kids were riding their bikes. Yes. The first day of summer. Goodbye school, and hello freedom. I cheered, performing my own little happy dance. Well, I have to get going to work. You'll be on your own until dinner time. You can do whatever you want, just don't burn the house down. My dad instructed. I chuckled at the man, walking over to him. Sure thing, Dad. I gave him a big hug, wrapping my arms around him as much as I could. I love you. Love you too, sweetheart. He returned the gesture, kissing me on the head before he parted, walking down the stairs. Be good. I will. I called out to him, waving goodbye as he left the house, locking the door behind him. I quickly ran over to my window, peeping outside as I watched my dad get into his car, a black 2014 Mercedes truck, pull out of the driveway and taking off down the street. I silently cheered to myself as I ran downstairs, jumping over my dog, Ella, who was napping on the last step. When I stepped on the recently mopped floor, I glided across the floor, nearly losing my balance as I steadied myself at the last minute. I looked down at the shoes of my onesie, glaring at them. I blame you. But it wasn't just any onesie I was wearing. It was a Transformers G1 Bumblebee onesie. While admitted, I should probably introduce myself. My name is Camilla Fred. I am 18 years old, a high school graduate and finally done with school. Honestly, I don't even want to go to college. I mean, sure, school had its moments now and again, but I just really hated it. I disliked it with a passion. Especially high school. Almost all of my friends applied to different schools, so it was hard getting along with the high school student body. I've been called many things throughout my 4 years of high school. A nerd, a geek, but those were nothing. One time I've been called a disgrace to my gender. Why, you may ask? Well, I'm not like other girls. I mean, sure, I like to go shopping and stuff once in a while, but not all the time. I don't do makeup, I don't wear high heels, Heck, I didn't even play with Barbie dolls growing up. I'm more of what you call a tomboy. I guess it really all began since my mom passed away when I graduated elementary school. It got me closer to my dad, and there was just something about all of the action movies, rock and roll music, football, and all that kind of stuff that just made me feel welcomed. And that's when the Transformers came into my life. I was first introduced to them when my dad bought me the first live-action movie. I wanted to see it in the theater, but my dad, being the overprotective one he is, wanted to see it first too. To make sure that it would be okay for me to watch. When he did bought the DVD and we both finally watched it together, of course he skipped bits and muted lines that he deemed inappropriate for my age at the time. Other than that, I was hooked. Over the years I watched the next 3 movies, watched almost all of the cartoon shows, got some merchandise, and played the games. The video games are hands down my all-time favorite thing about the Transformers. And speaking of video games, I knew exactly how I was going to spend my first day of freedom. After I ate my breakfast, I went back upstairs, stripping myself free of my onesie and took a quick shower. When I was done, I wrapped a towel around my body and went back into my room, scanning my closet of clothes. Finally, I pulled out my skinny jeans and one of my favorite t-shirts. It was black with a black and pink Autobot symbol on it with J1RK on it and text that says I only date Autobots. Heck yes. I got some underclothes and changed into my outfit, then proceeded to dry my hair just enough so I could put my brunette hair in a ponytail before putting on my red square glasses. Once I was ready, I squared back downstairs, jumping over my jog again as I turned on the TV and got my precious PS3 ready. I do have a PS4 just so you know, but I have all 3 of my favorite Transformers games on my PS3, whereas I only have Rise of the Dark Spark for the PS4. I haven't beaten the PS3 version of that game yet, but I plan on doing that today. I pulled out my phone, texting my ever-sweet boyfriend if he wanted to come over. Remember earlier how I mentioned that only one of my friends decided to go my high school? Well now, he's my boyfriend. Has been for over 2.5 years now. I texted him the universal greeting the Transformers use before adding the rest of my message. Don't know what it is. It goes a little something like this. A little word I know. But, hey, it's kind of funny if you think about it. It's supposed to be used as a means to express goodwill towards alien beings if there is a language barrier. Once I plugged in the system, I turned it on, pulling the 3 games from their slots on the shelf and setting them up on the TV stand in the order for the story. While Rise of the Dark Spark was the 3rd game to be released, the Cybertron portion of the game actually takes place before the events of Fall of Cybertron, so story-wise, it's the 2nd game of the trilogy. I eagerly opened up the case of War of Cybertron and inserted the disc into the game system. I turned my controller on and clicked the X button on my controller, selecting the game. I relaxed in my seat on the couch as the company logos appeared on screen, and then I squealed like a little girl when the opening of Transformers, War for Cybertron appeared on screen. I couldn't help myself as I followed Optimus Prime's speech, speaking it along with him as images of a war-ravaged Cybertron appeared on screen. Then Bumblebee and a couple more Autobots appeared, open firing on a Decepticon Seeker armada. Starscream zoomed by them, coming around as he locked his systems onto Bumblebee and 2 Autobots. As he fired his 2 missiles, the Autobot leader Optimus Prime drove by on a transforming highway, jumping into the air as he transformed into his robot mode. He smacked the first missile aside, then crushed the second one with his hand. He came crashing down to the floor on the platform where Bumblebee and the rest of the Autobots were. Bumblebee provided him with cover fire as he got up to his feet and Ratchet appeared, attending to the wounded. Starscream flew past them to the other side of the battlefield, joining the rest of his Decepticon forces and their leader, Megatron. I cringed at the part where Megatron completely crushed the head of an Autobot soldier as he spoke. It is a necessary war. To return us to glory. I stuck my tongue out, spitting and making that PTTF noise. Oh please, you are going down, Megatron, despite the fact I need to start with your campaign first, and recruit Starscream, steal Dark Energon, kill Zeta Prime, and capture Omega Supreme. Go. Curse you comms. I watched as the two sides charged towards each other, quoting the famous saying as I spoke along with the two leaders. One shall stand, one shall fall. As the day went on, it took me almost 5 tries, but I finally defeated Triptychon and thus, beating the first of the 3 games. Sadly, my boyfriend couldn't attend because he was otherwise engaged with something else today. Oh well. At least now I can fangirl over Optimus Prime without him getting jealous. It was now in the middle of the afternoon. I had lunch earlier, ham and cheese sandwich, and now I was slumped on the couch with a bag of Smart Food popcorn and I had my PS3 headset plugged in. Now that I was moving on to Fall of Cybertron, I needed all of the focus I can get. It's my favorite of the 3 games and it's also slightly more difficult and challenging than the first. And it was just absolutely pouring outside with a storm, and I didn't want to hear the noise of thunder and lightning. It freaks me out so much. I was in a good portion of the game, the beginning of Cliffjumper and Jazz's mission in finding Grimlock after the attack at the Ark Station, discovering that Grimlock wasn't at his post, which I suppose was the reason why the Decepticons were able to sneak in and attack. I paused the game to get a drink of water as thunder erupted in the sky, loud enough for me to hear with all of the windows and doors closed shut. I poured me a drink and as I turned around towards the living room, I noticed my TV screen acting all weird, like it was glitching out or something. No. I yelped, racing over as I set my drink down on the coffee table. The thunder grew louder as I frantically checked the TV screen for anything out of the ordinary. The TV seemed fine, but it was only when I looked down at my game system that I started to panic even more. My PS3 was going bonkers. It was just surging with electrical energy. When I tried to touch it, the system shocked my finger. I yelped, jumping back. What the heck is wrong with this thing? I muttered. One more sound of thunder erupted in the sky, and then suddenly, the PS3 turned off. In fact, everything in the house did. Great, power outage. Just what I needed. I spoke sarcastically. I turned on the flashlight app on my phone, looking around the living room. Just I thought, nothing in here was on. I flashed the light on my game system. It appeared that whatever was going on with it before had stopped. I cautiously knelt in front of it, holding my phone in one hand and carefully picking up my game system with the other hand. I examined the system, and I thought for sure after that whole light show it displayed earlier, the thing would be fried, or at least overheating at most. But it wasn't. It was like nothing happened at all. Am I seeing things or something? I spoke aloud. Off in the distance, thunder erupted, a big one, catching my attention as I shot my head to look out the patio door window and I saw a huge flash of lightning. And I don't know if what happened next was connected with the storm or whatever, but then there was a huge streak of electricity that raced across the wires and got into my PS3 system, shocking it, and me. It felt like I was getting stung by millions of bees. No, wasps is more like it. I screamed and cried from the pain it brought me. Then suddenly, a bright light flashed in my eyes and I felt like my body was being tugged forward or something. And then I hit something hard, almost like metal. My mind became fuzzy, and then, everything went black. There you go, there is the first chapter for Transformers fanfic. I do hope you enjoyed it, and if you do, please leave a like and a comment. Till next time.